I'm not able to go live. What am I doing?
Are you on live right now?
Yes.
Orientation is enough. Rotate the device back.
It's great.
Rotate the device.
I've been rotating it since that time.
The device itself, the phone.
But now we take it that way because it's supposed to be landscape.
With live, you cannot do live landscape.
Really?
Let's do live landscape.
Yes.
Really? Orientation is not
Yeah, I cannot go.
Okay.
You just have to do it like this.
And I want to reduce it.
Please, we're going to begin the debate now. Who is team proposition?
You just have to wind it up.
And team opposition? Please, before every debate round, you're going to give us your names. And the timing rule is simple. Can you hear? You have 6 minutes for your speeches and 3 minutes for the reply speech. At the end of the first minute, you hear a clap to show you that POI time is open. At the end of the 5th minute, 2 claps. No more POIs and you round it off. At the end of the 6th minute, 3 claps. Your time is up. You have 15 seconds maximum to round up. Yeah. We now call on the first speaker of the proposition.
Are you taking picture of me? You can rotate it from now. That's why you can rotate it, please.
Just for emphasis for the whole.
It's true.
The motion reads, this House believes that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence, including global institutions and religious actors, to achieve development in 2030. Please give us your name. Emma, we are ready where you are.
Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Dear judges, those debaters, my side, I feel sure. Again, reminding the House of the motion, this House believes that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence, including global institutions and religious actors, to achieve development by in 2030. This motion is in fact a belief motion. Now, to define some key terms for this motion, I'll start with the phrase or yes, the phrase of the word to rely on or rely more on. The word rely used in this motion refers to comparative prioritization. Second of, I have internal cultural change. These are changes within the nation's society, such as value education, skills, social norms, and health. Another definition in this is external influence. This is the influence or support coming from outside Cameroon that influences our development, such as global institutions and foreign policy. Development now in turn will be active and social economic progress like job creation, better education, and healthcare. Before I like to begin to my points, I would like to start with more of a proverb that goes thus: help yourself before others should help you. Being this is my first point, sustainable development comes from within. Now, they'll explain things to us and they'll tell us that before we get into the actual development should start from our environment. I should take care of our environment. From our environment, our cities or development and the rest will continue. And they will tell us this as advice. And now we should know that not everything you see on paper is as easy or as good as you may seem. Now, they'll bring this to us in the form of green energy. They'll tell us about green energy, tell us how we should improve using solar lamps, sustainable ways of maybe recycling dirt and all the whatnot. Forgetting that Cameroon is a developing country and we need initial cost to set up this. Now, what happened to the government finding those who threw this on the road? What happened to the government imposing or doing more rather than bringing in their help? Because if you were to employ the green health and the green development, we will need their help. Because for the sole fact that we can't produce this, The other fact that we don't have that exactly in development, we will need them to bring in. So they are helping us twice, using our money twice, and it's reducing the economical value. Now, to speak on accountability, still under the same point, I think as a country, you should be accountable for your actions. Now, when we talk about developing and all whatnot, we should be accountable and should say, yes, if I made a mistake, I made a mistake. If we are doing something great for the country, it should have come from the country itself. Now, you see conflict between when Cameroon does things as itself, it usually excels. For example, the present day in was once run by AES Sonel. Now, it was prioritized because the company was failing. AES Sonel was an American industry, an American corporation. Now, they took this from us, they took this for us, and were supplying us with light. They used, I think, solar panels. Yes, solar panels at the time. Now, it failed, and it was taken back by the government. And when the government did this, they used dams. Now, that is us using our natural resource, which is water. Now, that being aside, yes, that's what we use in our present day. Prospects for this, the Cameroon government has decided to use the metroforce in the next following years. And we all know, or as I may tell you, the metroforce is capable of supplying electricity to the whole West Africa. That's how big it is. So we should focus on helping ourselves, not employing them to help us. It's very wrong. Now, my second point is bringing me to dependency. Yes, over-reliance on foreign funding make us dependent on these people. Why? Why am I saying so? Now, when we over-rely on this, let me say external aid, because when they start helping us, yes, we tend to over-rely on them, and then we start borrowing, mass borrowing. Now, we cannot focus on development, we cannot pay our teachers. Because, yes, that's the teachers that have got, yes, that's their full salary. They want to focus on development, and we are still thinking about over-reliance on them, borrowing from them. It will be wrong. Now, I think the government, in this other aspect, can use our natural resources. Another example of a developing country that has done this is Burkina Faso. We see Burkina Faso, it was under the Church of France and all whatnot, and they were held. They were held. Just like that, you see how they have used their national resources to do better. This is the government, and this is how Cameroon can also do better. By using our natural resources, our frames of work, to do better than relying on other people. Now, we say, my third point, which is cultural barriers. Now, development is not always around money. Cameroon is, in fact, yes, a corrupt country. They say charity begins at home. And I'll say yes, it begins at home. But I dare say corruption will end in this home. If we decide to say yes, we'll take over our production, we'll take over all these things, and we are determined, we are well known to do those kind of things, corruption will then end. Now when we're receiving foreign funding from, let me say, the World Bank and all whatnot, it will pass through several hands, and before it's getting to the road that they wanted to build, or the buildings they're supposed to build, you have seen that what they're doing with them, it's not enough. Now, when you bring this to present day, and we are using our resources, and we are using it like that, corruption, yes, will in turn end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are going to call on the first speaker for side opposition.
Honorable judges, fellow debaters, and dear distinguished guests, I would like to remind everyone of the motion of today, which states, this House believes that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence, including global institutions and religious actors, to achieve development in 2030. I really like to define some key terms which I thought the proposition house did not really define, and the definitions do not start in today's debate. I'll begin by defining internal cultural change. Internal cultural change refers to values, habits, and norms of Cameroon that are created and enforced by Cameroonians themselves with no foreign influence, but they do not take a stand in the war to globalization. I would also like to define external influence. External influence refers to ideas, money, rules that comes from outside Cameroon's borders. Going furthermore to define global institutions. Global institutions refers to organizations that govern and assist the world at large, such as the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. Before I go into my points, I would like to debunk some of the points that the first speaker proposition gave. He talked about the dams. Can you tell me any industry in Cameroon that produces a machine that transforms the water from those dams into electricity? Don't we import those machines? Don't we take them from China? If China does not give us those machines, do you think we'll have electricity like we have now? No. You also talked about us depending on our internal cultural change. The English and French we speak today, is it from Cameroon? No. Cameroon has over 200 languages. Is there any country apart from Cameroon that speaks French? No. Bafut? No. What do they speak? English and French. And these are languages that help us communicate with the world at large. We cannot keep on focusing on ourselves. You cannot say, I'll be in Cameroon and I'll learn French. Then when you go out, what do you want to meet? What do you want to tell the world? My proposition dreams of a self-contained cultural evolution. We must face the reality of the globalized 21st century. Isolation is not development. It is not a development strategy, it is stagnation. But we, the opposition house today, we are here to prove that Cameroon's great development in 2030, it is paved with international cooperation, global institutional support, and universal moral frameworks provided by religious actors. I'll get into my first point, which states the necessity of a global institution support, both technical and financial. Where do Cameroon borrow its finance from? International Monetary Fund. Is it found in Cameroon? No. And you say we should rely on internal cultural change instead of global institutional influence. I stand today to say that we have to rely on them. Before a student becomes a teacher, you need a teacher to teach you. And that is what Cameroon wants to be. If you want to develop before 2030, you need a hand to bring it up. And those hands are those global institutions and religious actors, which are going to bring us up to become better places in 2030. I am not saying Cameroon is not a developed country, but a striving developing countries. Look at America, look at China. Do you want me to keep on naming these countries? Today you see most youth in Cameroon say, I want to fly abroad, and normally what they call falling bush. Why? Because we are not yet at the standard of development. America is ready to help, we are not ready to cooperate.
Yeah.
I'll engage you later. The external influence, they help us develop infrastructure, advance healthcare, and requires international markets. I give you an example in Yaoundé here. It's a school they call the American School. I'm sure the school is one of the most expensive schools in Cameroon here. Where is that school from? Who brought the school? Was it in America? How did they teach? I had students take scholarship from those schools to go abroad. Why? Because they don't want to remain in Cameroon. Because they don't want to keep saying that they can rely on themselves. I cannot rely on my culture. I need to have for help. I need to beg for help. Cameroonians have what they call pride. We don't want to lend our hands. They are ready to help us, but what do we think? We know. We have, or they say we have resources. You have resources without machines. Who do you want to use the resources for? I'll move on to my second point, which says religious actors are essential in social cities. That is, the religious actors are often the most effective external actors in providing social facilities to help us. The healthcare, the schools, you talk about your schools, you talk about SASE, who provides highly the best result in Cameroon. Where is that school from? From religious actors. We talk about moral guidance, the guidance in the way of God. Our foreign internal cultures, what do? What they do killing of twins. But when religious actors came, we focus more on God. We focus more on paving our way in life. And you tell us we should rely on our internal cultural change. I say no. Panel, to wrap this up, honorable judges, while internal culture is the soul of the nation, to choose isolation over integration is to deny our youth the tools. You cannot deny me the tools to go abroad. You cannot deny me the tools to raise my country. To raise my country, I need a helping hand. And I'm ready to put down that pride and lend my hand for them to help me. And when they help me, there is no way that you will help me and I won't become better because I will learn from the mistakes you make. We all go to school, right? We learn from our teachers. We say, oh, I aspire to be better. I can never say I aspire to be like you. I aspire to be better than you. And that is what the opposition house is building today. Let's build a Cameroon that is not just culturally rich, but globally competitive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are going to call on the third speaker or the third debater, but the second speaker from side proposition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please give us your name.
My name is Mwene Kiria.
You're ready when you are.
Please can you calm down.
3, 2, 1.
Good day, honorable judges, respected moderator, accurate timekeeper, worthy opponents, and my fellow audience. Proudly stand on the proposition side of today's motion because standing against this motion is a very long thing to do. Remind you of the motion which states, this house believes that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural changes than external influence, including global institutions and religious actors, to achieve development in 2030. Now, this takes me to my first point, which states, you cannot develop yourself without changing your mindset. There's no way you do that. I'll give you a clear example. There's one of my uncle and one other, his brother. One was in the US and one was in Cameroon. The one who was in Cameroon was a very good smoker. He had his mindset as a smoker. The one who was abroad knew about the fact that he has to save money and send, so there should be infrastructure in Cameroon. But when they were sending that money, he had full funds. What did he do? Smoking. He smoked like literally all the money. And now they are homeless. Because of the mindset they have, they are now homeless. So you just want people to give you money. Meanwhile, you can even manage the money. It's a very critical example. Now in Cameroon, China is funding us. China sends money to Cameroon, yes. France sends money to Cameroon, yes, but how are we using this money? The ministers are embezzling this money. How? They are embezzling it because of the mindset they have. So they should just give you money and you misuse it. Does that make sense? Does that even make sense? Please, you should try to reason these things out. Now, this takes me to my second point. This makes you know that borrowing causes debt. See, I'm here to tell you that I'm ashamed of my country, Cameroon. I'm telling you to your face, I'm ashamed of Cameroon. Yes, Cameroon has been borrowing for the past how many years? There's no change. There's no change. Go to Cameroon on the streets, walk on the roads, you see the roads, potholes everywhere, and they're borrowing the money. What are they doing with the money? What? That's just the mindset. That's just the mindset. They don't have a good mindset. That's their culture. It's their mindset. They have not changed it. So how do you want to achieve this? I don't know what just lying down. In other words, you can see places like place in Cameroon where here China borrowed and very huge sum of money to Cameroon, and at the end they say they'll build roads, say they'll make roundabouts. Yeah, that one roundabout costs 50 million. I don't know how. I don't know whether it's roundabout is space or what. But just because of the mindset, they cannot handle the money. They cannot manage the money. So are you trying to tell me that we should just focus on them sending us money, and we cannot even manage the money? What are we doing? What? They are not doing anything. First, we should try to manage the money. Have a good mindset. See, there is something I've learned. When you are in the house as children, if you realize their mother cannot give money to the most irresponsible son, she will not. Even she wants to give, even she's giving all of you 500, she will give him 200 francs. Why? He cannot manage money. So she will prefer to manage it for him. Is that how we want it? Is that the Cameroon we are building? Where people will manage us. Like we are not good now, right? This takes me to my third point.
This guy now.
Make you know that not all influencers are there to support you. She said, as a Cameroonian, you should not be proud, you should bring that yourself and send your hand so that it will help you. I mean, though you send that hand, they'll use it. They'll use that hand to put insect fire and move what they want to move and use. That's what they'll do. That's just all of it. Some of them, if they come, throw coins, throw small money, and what they do, they catch our attention, they get our attention, they get us to like them, and what they do, exploit our natural resources. You see China. China is sending money. Yes, they're sending. Do you know what they're taking from us? Do you know what China, do you know what France is taking from us? Let me tell you now, if you don't know, any tax you pay, 1% of your tax goes to France. For free job, it just goes there. What have they done to get that money? It just goes there direct. What have they done so that managing are we commodities? Are we not human beings? Can we not think on our own? Must we rely on people? How can you stand here and tell me that I should rely on somebody? It's like there's an exam coming and you want me to rely on a friend. You show me answer all the time. Does that even make sense to you? Does that even make sense? You're not supposed to rely on anybody. Change your mindset. If you cannot read, change your mindset. Be focused and you read. So that you pass. Yes, that's going to help you. Not that you rely on someone to show you answer. Then you get frustrated. How the country is becoming frustrated. Yes. It's very obvious. Now, she said some certain things I would like to correct. She said that they send us money, and she said that we cannot produce machines. It's like you are even Cameroon, you don't even know your country. Now, there are actually companies in Cameroon that produce machines. If you don't know, I'll tell you now. There are companies in Cameroon that produce machines. Yes. They produce all sorts of machines. Yes. If you go, how do you even tell me that somebody is good? You go to where they are constructing roads, you see the only Chinese people constructing roads. Where are all youths? My brother is there in the village, jobless. Where is? Which job do you want to do? Which job? Which job?
Thank you for third speaker of the day and second speaker for proposition. We are going to be calling on the second speaker for side opposition.
Yeah.
Give us your name.
Get someone. Come again. Get someone.
We are ready when you are.
Ready.
Time starts now.
Panel of judges, the moderator, my fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. No matter how great we are, no matter how proud we are, no matter what we have achieved, let's know that without the external help of the men and women of our generation, we will be left at the 0 point. And that is why the opposition house will explain this proverb, standing against the motion that Cameroon should not rely on internal cultural change, but rather rely on external help and aid, as will be better explained as the debate goes on. Firstly, I would like to review some of the points the proposition house made. They say we have the resources that can enable us to develop Cameroon by 2030. Let me ask you a question. Can you develop a country where you don't have tools? Can you develop a country where you don't have the necessary materials, the necessary manufacturers? Can you actually bring Cameroon from the scratch that it is now to the place where it can be known as developed if you don't have the necessary and adequate conditions that can make the development a success? Of course not. Cameroon still lacks in many things. Cameroon still lacks the materials. Cameroon still lacks the equipment that makes it sufficient for it to go to higher levels without external help. Yeah. I'll get you later.
The proposition has made mention that we should not rely on another. Let me tell you, can you rely on yourself without your parents? Is there any one of you right now, at this very moment, can you boldly beat your chest and tell me that you are where you are today because you rely on yourself, starting from when you are a cell, when many did not even know you? Can you beat yourself and tell me that the very dresses you're wearing, you accommodated for it? Okay. I will move to my own points. Firstly, external support brings what Cameroon lacks. We are Africans. We know by our nature that we cannot do on our own. So if you cannot do on your own, you need external help. These people are engaged.
He said us as Africans we cannot do on our own. How the countries like Burkina Faso now do in this new stage of their development without any person?
I will let my third speaker answer that POI. As I continue, external support brings what Cameroon lacks. What Cameroon is still lacking as a survival. What Cameroon is still lacking as a need. What Cameroon cannot do without. It can still be brought out by these external hands that stretch out for aid and for help. And they bring about funding. Many Africans today, they don't have funds on their own. They rely on international monetary funds that give them finances every year, annually, which sometimes is not always sufficient to make Cameroon develop so coincidentally. And then another one is expertise. We lack veterans. We lack skillful workers that can boast and bring Cameroon to that stage where US can come down and say, this is truly a transformation of development. We lack expertise, people who are specialized in skills, whether medically, psychologically. We lack those people. I'll engage you later. We lack those people, and therefore we should rely on those who have run this race for almost 100 years, for over centuries. People who have walked and gone to the deepest. People whose branches stretch above the sky. People whose roots have deep down to check and to discover new things. Another thing is electricity. Many African countries still face the issue of electricity. Electricity is always making TikTok, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. That is the situation, the electricity condition of Cameroon. It is always playing Humpty Dumpty. How can you expect a country without electricity to actually develop if it cannot bring out light? Last but not the least, the addition of cultural change is too slow. Let me tell you, it is difficult to cut down a tree that has stayed for 100 years with a common cutlass, with a common axe. It needs a powerful sawing machine that can cut down that tree. That is the context we have now in Africa. We have gone far in our cultures. We have gone far to turn back, and therefore it will be very difficult and will not afford the consequences when it comes. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I hereby say that Cameroon should not dare to go above the hand that raised it from its dust. Civilization did not start from us, it started from those people. So, if you dare, the hand that works for you will pull you down. Thank you.
Thank you, second speaker for side proposition. We are now going to call on the third speaker for side proposition. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, come. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You guys are not feeling the heat of it today. Boom, boom, debate. No, when we say boom, boom, today, they say boom boom CSDC. Boom boom CSDC, boom boom today. Yeah, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Boom boom Cameroon.
Boom boom CSDC.
Boom boom CSDC.
Boom boom Cameroon.
Yeah, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Let the heat continue, please.
Please, can we have your name?
My name is Mbeka Yoko.
Very much. The time starts. 3, 2, 1.
Greeting dear panel of judges. Greeting my fellow speakers, the propositioner, and greeting my dear speaker of opposition. I'm here as a state speaker of the opposition to stand for the fact that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence. I would first like to expatiate more on some of the points my propositional speakers gave. The first propositional speaker said sustainable development comes from within. Yes, I'll say that's very true. Sustainable development comes with a good internal culture. Because a good internal culture will shape our mind, will shape our work, will shape our influence, will make us cooperate more, and it will lead to hard work, it will impact education, it will reduce corruption, and most of these external influence deltas coming, they look good on paper, they don't work very well in our environment, like the green energy. They bring us green energy, which is more expensive than if the average salary of the Cameroonian. It's taking us backward because we don't have the technology to put it to our country. And when we pay them the money to put it, we still pay them to come and work there because they know how to use money than us. We are giving the money twice and it's reducing our income, bringing us poverty. Also, especially more on a point that my first speaker said, that good culture maintains development. I'll say yes. Good culture maintains development. Because if we have invested all this money, all these billions to be stadiums, to be projects, dams, companies, if we have a good culture to stop laziness, if we have a good culture to bring hard work, if we have a good culture to stop investment, those investment not die, all of them will die. So good culture to build and maintain and development. All of us will reach that beauty. If we don't maintain that development, we will not die. All of us will die and so are going backward, not forward. To also especially more on the point that my second portion speaker said, external influence create dependence. Yes. If we rely more on external influence, like the way Cameroon is like now, anytime I want to go we go and borrow money. We go and borrow money. It will bring us into debt and will cause this external power to come and infiltrate our country, exploit our work, our resources that we can instead use them and develop more. If we had a good culture, like now Chinese killing fish in river. If we had a good culture, if our government had a good culture, not embezzle. Now Chinese people are not doing that, and we can use that fishing resources that develop our country more and faster before the great states. Also, especially more on the point the second speaker opposition said, external influence. The external influence that people are coming, they have a missed agenda. They will come to develop us to gain more from us. Because when they come in, they bring us a project, they help us to fund. They will not fund according to how we have to meet that development. They will fund according to the way you favor them. Because they want to gain more from us. Now, bringing me now into my leaders. The first speaker said we need, the first opposition speaker said we need foreign money and technology to develop. I'll tell you that that's very forceful. Why I'll say it's very forceful that we need foreign force to develop. We don't need it to develop because when this external influence come into our country and they help us, the Chinese give us stadiums. This stadium, if you have a good culture, if you have a good mindset, if you don't be a good culture, this will die. And when this die, it's less of beneficial to us. Why? Because we are wasting money. We are wasting money. This money that we used to be stadium, we don't have a good culture. We are living now, these guys are dead. The stadium now cannot be used. That stadium costs billions. And we are wasting it because if we had a good culture to maintain it, we could have maintained that stadium and avoid us from repeating the offers from wasting money to innovate that stadium. That's more, the more we should innovate that stadium, that's the more that we employ Cameroonian workers, which instead help to grow in development. To also rebuild
speaker came in and said, he asked a question that can we develop our country without us having to? I'll tell that yes. All the material that will make develop our country is inside this Cameroon. That's why Cameroon is called African in nature. We have everything that African countries have. All the world material that we need to develop countries here. Why we are not yet developed is because of our bad culture. Because the government wants to embezzle. The government wants to steal. That's why we are not yet developed. If we change the habit, if the government has a good culture, we bring a good culture to the country. You have to promote hard work, education. The government will look into these resources like they mentioned waterfall. Why have the government done it? Because they want to invest money. That's why. Because the bad culture. To bring more, also review on the point he said, we lack expertise. I'll tell you, that's very lie. It's because we are not seeing it. We have hundreds of students, thousands of graduates from university and they lack jobs. And I tell you why they lack jobs. If had a good culture, if had a good culture or not depending on this foreign power, we could have employed these people. We could have employed this our experts that we have here. We don't have them. It's because of our bad culture. Our bad culture of stealing and laziness. That's why we are still like that. He also spoke about electricity. Now I'll conclude by saying that I firmly stand for the fact that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We are going to call on the third speaker for side opposition.
Yeah. No, that it's not powerful. I want not feel the energy of the debate.
Give us your name, please.
That's Mildred. Manka.
Mildred?
Manka.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
Start.
Honorable judges, my fellow debaters, distinguished guests, I greet you all. I am here to stand against the motion. This House believes that Cameroon should rely more on internal cultural change than external influence, including global institutions and religious actors, to achieve development in 2013. The speakers of the proposition side were mostly talking about money, that we have borrowed money, but still yet I'm not seeing where we are taking this money to borrow. They have not even shown us the evidence or to tell us how, when the date happened. They are talking about money. It's not money that develops the country. It's the thing, it's the thing that the country wants to do, it's the way that the country wants to work, it's how the country decides to go. And if we want to go far, if we want to improve ourselves, we have to connect ourselves with different countries. Imagine, China has built the tallest building in Africa, in the whole world. China has built the tallest building in the whole world. Imagine Cameroon working hands with China to move forward or to go somewhere. You realize that Cameroon will also go far. We will also go far in 1 or 2 ways. Many of our talented and skilled workers here in Cameroon are not here. Why? Because they have left. They have seen that Cameroon has nothing to do. They have no connection. And they are leaving to other countries, different countries, to go and improve them. Why? Because Cameroon don't want to hold hands with anybody. For example, this debate will not only end here. We will leave from here and go to other countries to go and debate there. For example, it will not finish only here. It will go out to different places to go there. If we could have just end here, it will just finish like that. The talent are just end within Cameroon. We don't improve each other. We are just trying. We carry pride on our soldiers because we don't want to do anything. We feel like it's not moving. You talk about the Burkina Faso having developing themselves, trying to move on their own. They are moving on their own. You want to tell me that the gold and silver that they have, they change it, they use machines to change it into the materials they have today. Not all the machines were being made in the Burkina Faso. They were imported from other and different countries before they are being changed to what they are today. They are independent because they have different countries to hold them hand to hand on. I engage you.
Please, can you give me an example of one machine that was imported by Burkina Faso? One machine.
For example, the machine that can transfer silver to different things, or the machine that can change raw goods. For example, cocoa to chocolate. We don't have that machine here. It's not found in Burkina Faso. It was being imported. And again, how we spend.
You cannot tell someone to help you when you think you already know the help. We have to come down as Cameroonians to learn from others. We have to come down and try to influence ourselves with different people. We have to come down and try to hold hands to hand with the developing countries so that we can develop faster and move faster. I'll engage you later. We don't have everything, and we lack the things we need to develop this country. For how many years now? For 60 years, Cameroon has been trying to develop on its own. Where have we gone to? Nowhere. We are still in one and standard form. We are not moving anywhere. 60 years that Cameroon had independence, but still nothing is changing. Why? Because we carry pride on our shoulders. We think we can do it on our own. We think we can move on our own. We have to hold hand to hand with other countries to move so that they will impact us, so that they will teach us. You talk of your brother staying in the village because China's are the one building roads. I'll engage you later. Talk about your brother staying in the village because China's are the one building roads now. Have your brother come and ask the Chinese people to teach him and he has refused? No. He's carrying pride on his shoulders. He doesn't want to learn. We have to learn the skills of them if we want to develop our country. They have good scientists. They have good building and constructing people who do their work at their best. They are fantastic at it. Imagine us learning from them. Imagine us submitting ourselves to them and going to them and telling them to teach us. They will. We are the ones deciding. We have decided that let them just be giving us the fish, let's be eating. We don't want to learn from them. Let's go to them and tell us, teach us how to catch it. We are tired of borrowing the money, it's true. We want to take it from people. Teach us how to do it. And with this, we have to hold them hand to hand. There's no way what one hand can do, two hands can do it more better. We can be improved and we can move more better if we work with others. I'll engage you later. Employ people who learn. You're talking about Cameroonians not employing themselves. How can I employ somebody to come and do my business when another person cannot do it? That's why they will take other people. That's why they will learn from other people. I cannot tell you to come and arrange my business. Give me accountability of it, and you are not able. Finally, I will allow you to go. Many Cameroonians have decided to be lazy. We have decided not to move forward. We have decided to be stagnant. This is because we don't want to hold hand to hand with other countries to move. I engage you now. Panel, you are just wasting my time. Let me continue. What are not available now in Cameroon? Many talented people, for example, footballers. Many footballers now like that are playing not in the national team in Cameroon, but outside. Kylian Mbappé, Jude Bellingham. These are Cameroonians who left Cameroon now and they are playing out in the other countries. And we also, because they have legalized in different countries with these talents they have, they are going to make different talents. They have made themselves to be legalized in different countries. And we think the talents are coming out from there. Why you travel from here and left to those countries to go and develop it? Because why? Cameroon has no connection. We don't move anywhere. We don't want to improve ourselves and we don't want to build this. With this, I strongly stand and I say this. What one hand can do, two hands can do it more better. Please, Cameroonians, let's stand with connection with others. Let's read books from them. We will still know. Having connection with them doesn't mean that we must go to their country. We can also develop ourselves just by knowing what they have. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are going to call on the reply speech from side. Oh, we have your reply speech.
Okay, reply speech from opposition. So basically, we have had all the three people from two different parties tell us why they are against or that is why we are giving them another opportunity to convince us more. That's why we have a round called the reply speech. This is a 3-minute round that you have to tell us why you think you should win this debate. We are ready when you're ready.
Just before, I'll clap at the first minute and at the third minute only. So at the end of the first minute, you receive one clap. At the end of the third minute, 2 claps. Your time is up. You have 3 minutes. And 15 seconds maximum to round. Be good. Ready when you are.
I'm ready.
Time starts now.
Honorable judges, distinguished guests, I would love to enroll into the school of thought of the proposition house, but all their points that they have given today has no clear reasons or examples. I would like to begin with when he said that Cameroonians have the scientists. He didn't even end by giving us the example. He didn't even give even one. The are not from Cameroon, but we use their resources. Let's go about the AI in Facebook. Who made it? They call him Mark Zuckerberg. Is he from here? No. But we don't want to bring out that pride to listen from them. They keep on talking about embezzlement of their prime ministers. It's you that you are killing yourself. If you beg help, we could have given you. But you think you know all. You think your prime minister, you keep on talking about embezzlement. Look at America, they embezzle. No, they are developing. You are directly killing yourself by yourself. You talk about how your prime ministers embezzle, how they bring people from other countries to work. Why? Because the youth do not want to bring up themselves. If you want to reach the sustainable development in 2020, in 2030, we must be able to call ourselves as youth. Development begins with the mindset. Cameroonians have low self-esteem. They do not believe in themselves. They do not know that they have that capacity, and they say they don't want to rely. You have to learn from others to be where you are. I would like to plead on the honorable member. I see he's really busy, but I would like him to stand and behind the judge, behind the female judge. I'd like you to stand, and if you help me answer this question later, if where he is today, he didn't rely on someone. I'd like you to answer that question to each and everyone, but I am telling you, he relied on someone. So going forward to this, I also like to talk about the second speaker. He said, Cameroonians are ready to take a position and mindset of dissemination. You said they give you money and you take the money and you mismanage it. Do you even have the money before they are even? Let me say you keep on borrowing. Do you even have? You have resources. What are you using to do with it? Nothing. Maybe it's not one help. But us, the opposition house, we have brought out claims, facts why we need help. We have brought out reasons why we need to rely. Relying does not necessarily mean you rely forever. You do not stay in primary school forever. You do not stay in school forever. If I want to become a teacher, I will rely on a teacher, but I will never say I will remain in that school. One day I will be a teacher, but I will not remain in the school. That is what you rely. Relying does not mean that you depend. Relying means collaboration. That is what I want Cameroonians to do. Collaboration. People collaborate. They say one hand cannot tie a boom. My brother, two hands can. If we rely from Cameroonians to China, you will not tell me that in 2030 we will not be standing up in the technological field saying, you will not be bragging about how our built technology. You talk about how Cameroon has industries that are producing things. Show me what they are producing things and stuff. Look at how when the Pope was coming to Cameroon, they built roads in Panetta. They opened the airport. Why? And we say we should rely. So all these things I have said, I see no reason why the debate should not stand in the hands of the opposition teams. The propositions can wait for other motions, which their points, their positive points can go for. But the debate today goes in the hands of the opposition. Thank you very much.
My beautiful daughter, I just want to appreciate you, but I want to tell you that I've traveled widely, all over the world. When you go to America, you see people sleeping under the bridges. You go to America, you see people eating in the garbages. I just want to let you know, Cameroon is the best country in the world. That's why we stay in Cameroon. Best country in the world.
Hello?
Who's going today?
We just want to say that would in no way influence the choice of the judges. Yeah. That would in no way impact the results you're going to have. The debate is based on paper, what has been said, and not what is inferred. Yeah. We are going to call up the last speakers to give their reply speech, and we close this round.
At the same time, please, sorry. It doesn't mean that if we're in Cameroon, we cannot rely on other countries. We can rely on other countries. It's true. It's emphasizing that people should be arrested because they siphon funds destined for certain projects in the country. And so Cameroon is improving. Thank you so much.
You know, one clap save you with Chris.
Okay. Remind us your name. Thank you. Irma, we are ready when you are. Time starts now.
So, dear panel, judges, I wish you all. Now, judging or looking from my point of of view of this debate. We have heard from both sides, and we hear the main theme of the opposition side being that Cameroon needs the money, yes, and we need reliance. But I think they are mistaking reliance for over-reliance, and that's dependency. Now, they spoke about Cameroon being a country where the youth want to leave the country because of greener pastures in quote. I would say that's wrong. Because if the youth decide to stay, because the sole content that's brain drain, if they decide to stay in the country, they will develop the country more. Not necessarily being that they want to leave the country and that should be the sole part that Cameroon should rely on other countries. No. Improving on yourself is why you have to want to stay. Now, they spoke about also giving examples of important sciences that have come out of Cameroon. Well, the leading scientists for the HIV foundation in the whole world was by Professor Victor Anomambu, a proud Cameroonian who sold, which after his death, his family sold his research facilities for I think for approximately $200 million for HIV. A Cameroonian after his death. So you see, Cameroon actually has those kind of people. The leading engineers outside of the country and in America are blacks. Most from Nigeria and Cameroon. That's brain drain. A person in the fact that the opposition side said, or if the country decides to help itself, developing or using more of the natural resources to help the country, the youth know how to live. They will stay in the country and help the country, not necessarily in the country causing brain drain. Speaking about factories that will have machinery that we don't use, I can tell you that in Tumba, there are places where there are machineries that industries that make machines. Yes, just beside my house, there's just a small industry that makes machines that produce chocolate. We have those things. How do we expand on them? We can't because we don't have the funds. We use the funds on different things. Quote investment. I'm calling for a better Cameroon. The opposition is calling for a better Cameroon. Not a Cameroon that will invest, not a Cameroon that will have brain drain, not a Cameroon that you sit down and be like, child, it's my country. Now look, speaking about the way we are supposed to use our money to develop, let's say our streets. When the folk came here, did you see how we passed through Douala? This also through CITV. Also the state of the roads. Now that's bad. That is bad. And speaking of the fact that we have funds every single year by the International Monetary Fund to develop our roads and to clean our streets, and it's not being done. This is a Cameroon that if it focus more on helping itself and not over-reliance on other countries, it will be better. Hence why opposition should be
Thank you very much. With this speech, we come to the end of this round of debate. We are going to continue with the other programs, and I see the moderator is already in place. Results will be given for these outside, then finals will be done inside here when it's due time. Yeah. So now the judges will withdraw the deliberate.
Yeah, Chair, I think this is a blind round.
Okay.
They will just know those who are coming in for finals and those who are not.
Battery low.
Nah, that's not the response I'm expecting. What will we do? We must show them something. And the Central Regional representatives here present, please some noise. Can the students from the Northwest region here present make some noise? And the students from the Southwest region here present make some noise? And the students from the West region, can we hear you make some noise? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, I would like like us to please stand up to welcome His Excellency, the representative of the Ministry of External Relations, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Way. Can we please rise up to welcome him and show him that respect? Thank you very much for honoring us with your presence, sir. And we will also remain standing so that I will just tune for us the national anthem. One, two, sing. Oh, Cameroon, thou cradle of our fathers, only shrine wherein our knees and our repose. That tears and blood and sweat and solid waters, on the hills and valleys was that tillage rose. Dear fatherland, that was no tongue can tell. How can we ever pay thy due? Thy welfare we will bring in turn, and love and peace will be to the name ever true. Share but clear, there shall be notre seul et vrai bonheur, notre joie et notre vie, à toi l'amour et le grand honneur. His Excellency, the representative of the Ministry of External Relations, our special guest here present, all regional representatives, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, You're all welcome to this final part of our Cameroon Schools Debate Championship, which started at the regional levels, from inter-school competition to regional competition, and now to the national phase. And if we are all here present, it's because a group of young people with a vision came together some years ago and created an association to train young people in debate and public speaking, taking them for national and international competitions. And this group of people is represented and is led by none other than the convener of today, the president of Baseline Orators Network, Madame Betio Beatrice. Can we please give her a wonderful round of applause? So I'll be welcoming to this stage Madame Betio Beatrice to present to us a word of welcome, which will be closely followed by a keynote address by the representative of the ministry, and then by a roundtable panel discussion. We'll have a public speaking finals, and then an interlude by one of our talented speakers, and then we'll have debate finals, award ceremony, pictures, and dinner. Without wasting any more time, I pass the floor now to our convener, our great, mighty leader, who did everything possible for us to have this successful event here today. Madame Betty Beatrice.
Good afternoon, everyone. Google debate. Distinguished distinguished guest speaker, and guest of honor, the Director of Communications, Documentations, and Archives of the Ministry of External Relations, esteemed judges, dedicated coaches, proud parents, and above all, the excellent young minds gathered here today. Let me begin differently from what you all are expecting. Imagine a world where decisions are made by those who cannot question, where leadership belongs to those who cannot listen, and where the future is shaped by voices that were never trained to think. The world will not only collapse in a day, it will slowly fade, quietly, dangerously, because no one was taught how to speak with purpose. My name is Betty Beatrice. I'm the tournament director of the Cameroon Schools Debate Championship and also the president of the Baseline Orators Network. It's my profound honor to welcome you to the National Championship of the Cameroon Schools Debate Championship, 3rd edition, organized by Baseline Orators Network and the Commonwealth Students Union. From the Central region to the Southwest, to the Northwest and the West region, we have witnessed something different. Young people, ages from 11 to 18, stepping beyond fear, some even fainted, but they woke up and continued with their speech. Into an arena of ideas. What began as a regional contest has now become a national celebration of intellect, courage, and discipline. But today, I stand here not just to celebrate how far we have come, I stand here to challenge how far we are willing to go. Because debate is not just preparation for life. Debate is life in motion. It's where confidence is built, where leadership is tested, and where the future quietly begins to take shape. And this is why Baseline Orators Network is not stopping at the national stage. We are opening our doors to the world. Beyond this competition lie powerful international platforms, opportunities for our students to step on stages like the World Schools Debate Championship in Kenya 2026, the Pan-African Schools Debate Championship in South Africa, and many others. These platforms are open to all students, from junior to senior. So in the Cameroon schools, we put you junior when you're from Form 1 to Form 4, and you're senior when you're from Form 4 to opposite. So all students are always encouraged to participate in this program. These are not just trips, and I know the first people that went with us, they thought it was a safari trip until they had to spend sleepless nights arguing over the stock exchange market they knew nothing about. They are really transformation. To the students here today, participating in these competitions means exposure to global standards, engagement with diverse perspectives, and the chance to test your voice against the best young minds, not only in Cameroon, but across Africa. It builds confidence that no classroom alone can provide. It teaches you adaptability, it sharpens your critical thinking, and most importantly, it shows you that your voice actually matters beyond borders. The reason Baseline Orators started this movement is because Cameroonian voice needs to be heard on the global stage. We shaping the perspective for the global stage. We need to have our ideas, we need to have our perspective there. And to the parents in this room, I want us to all honor Divisionnaire Janjo. Please, let's a round of applause, please. Divisionnaire Janjo is with us today. He fully sponsored his daughter for our international trip and was the very first trip we took. Without knowing who we are, but he trusted in the movement. Today, 2026, is taking his daughter. Last year, we were in South Africa for the Pan-African Schools Debate Championship in Johannesburg, the University of Witwatersrand, and the students some students that participated there today are at the national stage. They have won the competition at their regional level, and they are here to make their school proud. That is like the impact of what we are doing. We say thank you, sir. We say thank you to all the parents that keep trusting us with their kids. For the coordinators here, they are aware that just allow your child to travel with another person out of the region is very careful. Talking about leading the country. We appreciate all the parents that trust us in this movement. This competition is an investment in your child's future. The platforms cultivate leadership, as have elderly said. When you support a child to step to this stage, you are not just sending them abroad to compete or to bring you money, as most people ask me, Madam, are we having money? There's no money. You are positioning them to lead. If education gives a child knowledge, then exposure gives the knowledge power. And this is exactly what these international opportunities provide. Power, perspective, and possibility. Power, perspective, and possibility. So I urge you students to be bold enough to step forward, and parents, because there are so many parents here and also those watching us live, parents especially, to be courageous enough to let them lead, compete, and innovate. Because the world does not remember those who stay comfortable. It remembers those who step forward when it matters most. As we proceed with this national championship, let us remember that today is not just about trophies or titles. It's far beyond the trophies. It's far beyond the titles. Nelson Mandela said, it's either I win or I learn. If you are not winning, you are learning. It's about raising your voice. It's about expanding your mind. It's about a generation preparing itself not just to inherit the future, but to shape it. Let the stage be filled with courage. Let every argument be driven by purpose. And let every participant live here knowing they are capable of more than they are imagined. Once again, welcome to the Cameroon Schools Debate Championship. And may today not just be crowning of winners, but ignite leaders in you. Thank you so much.
That speech deserves more than that little clap. You know, there is one thing to be a good trainer, and there's another thing to showcase it with your own public speaking skills. From what's presented here, we can see that we are not just training people, but we too are training ourselves to be those leaders that these young ones can look forward to and look up to and say, I want to be as eloquent as Madame Beatrice, or why not myself? Thank you very much, President. If there's one thing that I would like to take note, and I would like each and every one of us to do the same from what you said, is that this is not just a platform where we are giving you exposure, but a platform where we are helping you to lead with purpose and with strive. Strive because exposure will give you the ability to understand the power that you have in your hands and what you can do, not just in the national but in the international stage. Right now, I would like to step aside and give the floor to our speaker, our guest of honor, who welcomed us in his office a few weeks ago and inspired us and told us he was going to come here to also inspire you guys and share something with you. So, Your Excellency, representative of the Ministry of External Relations, can we please give a wonderful round of applause?
for giving me the floor, and I would like to thank you all for inviting the Ministry of External Relations. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be here to share our experience. First of all, I would like to mention that I'm here with my colleagues who are interns in the Ministry of External Relations, the three ladies sitting there who came in with me. They are interns, but I call them my colleagues because they're not interns, they are my colleagues like you are our colleagues. I was asked to give this keynote speech, and like my sister just said before she left the floor, when I welcomed them in my office at the Ministry of External Relations, it was such a great experience. I met two ladies, very humble, and they were talking to me and my colleagues about this event, and we immediately said that we will come here. We will come here to share our experience. That's why we're here today. We're very happy, and we will report to our hierarchy. So I would like to start my keynote address. The President of Baseline Orators Network and her entire team, distinguished regional delegates and officials, esteemed principals, school administrators, educators who have prepared these remarkable young minds, members of the education panel and all partner organizations, and most importantly, our brilliant, courageous, and future-ready young debaters and public speakers from across the regions of Cameroon. Dear parents, a good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the national finals of the 2026 Cameroon Schools Debate Championship. On behalf of the Minister of External Relations, His Excellency Bela, which I have the honor to represent here, I extend our sincere congratulations to all who have made it to this prestigious stage. Before I continue, I would like to recognize Le Commissaire Divisionnaire. It's an honor, sir, and it's a pleasure to meet you here as a parent for what you did for your daughter. I think this is very inspiring, and I think it also inspires all the other parents to continue to do so. Today, within the walls of the Muna Foundation, something big is happening. Young Cameroonian students from the center, southwest, northwest, and west regions of Cameroon have stood up. They've spoken out, risen above. They have competed in front of judges, before their peers, and in defense of ideas that matter. They are not waiting to be heard. They're already speaking, and the Minister of External Relations is here to listen. Now, the Cameroon Schools Debate Championship, organized by Baseline Orators Network, is more than a competition. It's a movement. It's a platform that has grown from classrooms and community halls into a nationally recognized championship that draws schools from across diverse regions in Cameroon. Now, this year's theme, Investing in Sustainable Development, the Role of Youth in Attaining Cameroon's 2030 Goals, is not merely academic. It is a clarion call. It is a reflection of exactly the kind of thinking that Cameroon needs at every level of governance, diplomacy, and international engagement. The students here today have debated issues of leadership, immigration, peace, morality, economics, honesty, sustainable development, and civic responsibility. These are the conversations happening in most international organizations such as the United Nations, the African Union, the Commonwealth, La Francophonie, just to name a few, and in the corridors of every ministry, including ours, the Ministry of External Relations. A special tribute, ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, must be paid to a partnership that has elevated this championship to new heights. The West Region's participation in this year's CSDC was great by the personal commitment and patronage of the governor of the West Region. Under his distinguished leadership and sponsorship, the West Region Regionals champions were crowned under the prestigious Awa Fonka Augustine Cup, a trophy that now stands as a symbol of excellence, regional pride, and the power of leadership investing in young voices. A round of applause for the governing team. we would like to commend the governor of the West Region for this remarkable gesture. Now, when leaders show up for their youth, the youth show up for their nation. And the young champions from the West who stand before us today carry with them not only pride of their schools, but the blessing and endorsement of their governor. That is a legacy worth building on. Ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, the Minister of External Relations is the door and bridge between Cameroon and the world. We represent the voice, the image, and the interest of our nation on the international stage. And it is precisely for this reason that we are here today, because of you, young people, of what you're doing, and that is directly aligned with our mandate. Diplomacy at its core is communication. And I'm happy to be the Director of Communication of the Ministry of External Relations. It is an argument. It is the ability to listen, to understand, to persuade, and to negotiate. Every skill being demonstrated in this championship today, critical thinking, eloquence, research, structured reasoning, confidence under pressure, these are the skills of diplomats, ambassadors, foreign affairs officers, international negotiators, and global leaders. When I look at this audience and of young Cameroonians arguing with clarity, responding with poise, and speaking on behalf of their schools and regions with pride, I do not just see students. I see the next generation of Cameroon's voice in the world. Now, I have been asked to share with you what the Ministry of External Relations offers to young Cameroonians like yourselves, and I'm delighted to do so. I came along with some magazines, and I also came along with some leaflets to explain exactly what is the ministry. The only thing I can say before I continue is that the ministry has not only central services in the Ministry of External Relations, not far from here, but we also have external services, embassies, high commissions, consular posts abroad. On a day-to-day business, what we do is to share exactly what we do, and is to promote the image of Cameroon abroad. And I'm sure that when you go outside, you'll be there promoting the image of our country. Now, as you are aware, the Ministry of External Relations is pivotal in advancing Cameroon's international relations. And you all know that the President of the Republic is the one who designs the public administration and the external deals, what Cameroon deals with. And the Ministry of External Relations is there to implement it. Now, having a representative of the ministry to deliver the keynote address today represents a significant opportunity to inspire the students in attendance, many of whom aspire to contribute to Cameroon's future in diplomacy and international leadership. In fact, the Ministry of External Relations offers internships to students, like I have today, my 3 colleagues who are here with me. And through this engagement with global political associations of states such as the Commonwealth and La Francophonie, the ministry also provides young people with opportunities through youth programs focusing on leadership, government support, and the professionalization of youth work while offering visibility for impactful youth initiatives. These opportunities begin with exactly the kind of courage, preparation, and excellence that you have demonstrated here today on this national stage. Ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, let me share something that makes this moment even more special. Among those who have competed in this championship, Baseline Orators Network will be traveling with a select group of our finest young debaters to represent Cameroon at the World Schools Debating Championship 2026 to be held in Nairobi, Kenya from the 14th to 24th July 2026. This will be the 38th edition of the World Schools Debating Championship, a global tournament that has been held annually since 1988 and draws nations from every corner of the earth. And after 14 years, it lands on African soils in Nairobi. This is historic, and for the first time in 37 years, Cameroon will be there. Now, this is not just a trip abroad. It is Cameroonians' voice joining and shaping the global conversation. It is proof that what begins in a classroom in Bafoussam, Bamenda, Yaoundé, or Buea can rise to the world stage. To those young debaters who will carry out our flag to Kenya, I would like to tell you that you carry the pride of an entire nation. We believe in you, Cameroon believes in you. Now, Baseline Orators Network's journey to global recognition did not begin yesterday. Last year, the network competed at Pan-African Schools Debate Championship, representing Cameroon against the very best debating programs across the African continent. And they received with distinction, claiming the third best novice team in Africa. That is Cameroon announcing its presence on the continental stage. Now, we'd like to congratulate Madame Petito Beatrice and the entire Baseline Orators Network for that achievement, and we look forward to even greater glories in the years ahead. A round of applause for them. Dear youth, I want to challenge you today not to sit down after this championship and return to business as usual. I challenge you to debate beyond this hall. Take your arguments home. Bring them to your classrooms, your communities, your families. Debate the issues that affect your neighborhoods. Speak truth, but politely, intelligently, and persistently. Because that is what great orators do. That is what great diplomats do, and that is what great Cameroonians do. Cameroon's 2030 vision calls for an emerging economy and a united people. None of that happens without young people who are informed, engaged, articulate, and bold. Looking at this room today, I am convinced utterly and completely that this generation is ready. Now, before I close, I must take a moment to acknowledge the great work of the Baseline Orators Network. The CSDC was not built overnight, I already said it. It was built through years of personal sacrifice, institutional commitment, and an unshakable belief that young Cameroonians deserve platforms to be heard. To the regional coordinators, the educators, the school principals, the teachers, the parents and guardians, thank you. You are the silent architects of what you see on this stage today. And to all the partner organizations from AGHE in the Southwest, to the Commonwealth Student Union in the center, to Renai Africa in the Northwest, and to the governor of the West region for his visionary partnership and institution of the Alafonka Cup, your collaboration has transformed a national idea into a national institution. Ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, as we witness today's national finals, let us all be reminded in schools and in homes that investing in the voices of young Cameroonians is not a luxury. It is a strategic necessity. It is a national imperative. And it is quite simply the right thing to do. To the champions who will be crowned today, your trophies are beautiful. But the real prize is what lives inside you. Mainly the confidence, the knowledge, the discipline, and the burning desire to make a difference. That cannot be taken from you. To everyone competing today, you are all winners. Every student who stood up to speak, every student who crossed a region to be here, every student who practiced one more time before bed last night, you have already won something that no trophy can measure. You have won the courage to use your voice. God bless our country. God bless our youth, and I would like to thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I don't know about you guys, but this was a whole download for me. I recorded everything and I'll watch it at least 3 times to learn more from the wonderful speech. Thank you. Without wasting much time, because I know that Your Excellency will not be here for a very long time, I'm just going to call, and I would like to call on Madame Executive to please help me usher them to their various seats. Apart from Your Excellency, we also have another list of amazing guests that we invited today, and we would like to hear from them on a particular theme. So please help me usher Your Excellency to these seats for a panel discussion. Our roundtable panel is on the theme, Can Cameroon's youth be the architects of the 2030 vision? Can Cameroon youths be the architects of the 2030 vision? We'll also be calling to join the panel discussion, and I would like each and every one of us to please welcome them with really warm hands of applause, because they've left their jobs, their occupations, and whatever they had to do to come and inspire us today. Can we please welcome Mr. Tangang Andrew, who is a seasoned development practitioner with 15 years of experience in youth empowerment, currently a senior policy analyst at eBase Africa. He manages international education projects. He holds a PhD in public policy from the University of Birmingham and 3 master's degrees, specializing in development management, governance, and decentralized cooperation. Can we please clap for him? To spice up this panel a little, we have a feminine voice, a powerhouse diplomat and journalist, who is a 40 under 40 Africa Award winner and Global Goodwill Ambassador. As founder of the Welisane Foundation, she has sent 20,000 plus displaced girls back to school and leads the Life Saving Smiles project in conflict zones. Can we please welcome Dr. Welisane He is a dynamic Cameroonian innovator, founder of the TIC Foundation, and co-founder of AgriCheck, a climate-smart platform helping farmers adapt to climate change, and that's won an amazing prize not so far ago in South Africa. Through the TIC, he inspires and equips the next generation of African innovators, and he won third prize at the 2026 Africa Pachipanda Challenge MTN amongst 2,484 startups that were in this competition. He was also a 2025 Mandela Washington Fellow, and he was selected among 6,800 plus applicants and trained in business leadership at the University of Notre Dame. Can we please welcome Mr. Kim Raga? One of Cameroon's most impactful alumni of international youth exchange initiatives run in partnership with the U.S. Embassy is duly represented here. He is the president of Yes Alumni Cameroon and the vice president in charge of administrative affairs at Baseline Auditors Network. He has continued to give back to the next generation by helping young Cameroonians access life-changing educational and cultural exchange opportunities. His story is proof that when a young person is given the right opportunity, they can go far and then return it to the others. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please welcome Mr. Lambe Joseph? Please, he's not yet on his seat, guys. So, this is our elite panel, Mr. Jean-Patrice Koué, Mr. Tangas Andrew, Mr. Joseph Lambe, Mr. Bill Agar, and our queen, our lady, Dr. Ken Belisani. It's an honor. And then myself, Ethel Lelufe, who will also be moderating this panel. Before I start with the series of questions that are prepared for this panel, I would just like to pass the floor to you guys, to hear from you guys on what you think about the theme of the day, and just introduce yourself. I've done that introduction, yes, but I would like you to still introduce yourself and just tell us what you think about the theme of the day, starting with the lady, and then I will give the floor to the gentleman.
Boom boom debate. Boom boom Cameroon. Boom boom debate. All right, I just copied and pasted that from what I heard when I was sitting over there. Thank you so much, Ethel and Beatrice, for the opportunity to be here. Anytime Beatrice or Ethel calls me, I always show up because they are very inspiring and very humble people, and they are willing to learn from others and also willing to inspire. So thank you again for having me here, and of course to Baseline Orators Network. Your Excellency, it's an honor for me to share the same panel with you, and I'm humbled. Monsieur le Commissaire Divisionnaire, welcome to this space. We are humbled to have you, the jury, dear students, dear parents, and everyone present. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Wesanembo King. I am a Cameroonian doctor, a diplomat, and a gender advocate. And I am humbled to join this conversation about debating, because growing up we were very shy, especially as girls. And personally, I was a stammerer, and when I tried to work on the stammering, I started to speak very fast. So I envy young people like you who can really stand up and talk, because it was a challenge for many of us as children. So congratulations again to you, to the Sobans here present, to the Sekaret and the Seka Baptist alumni. So Sekaret, shout out to you and to all the other students here present. Now to talk about what we are here to talk about, the debate being an architect for development. I want to say that we really need to have speaking skills to survive in life, because sometimes you can be going through something very difficult, but if you cannot express yourself, if you cannot communicate, you can even die. So when we are out there in the diaspora, sometimes you're going through something difficult, but you cannot tell somebody because first of all, you cannot communicate. Secondly, you don't have the courage and the confidence to do that. And so it's an important skill for life to be able to communicate, to be able to speak up. Secondly, leadership starts with communication. To be able to lead, you must be able to speak, and people should understand what it is you're trying to, your vision, your goals. Imagine, I'm not sure that Barack Obama is the most intelligent man in the world, or Donald Trump, or even President Paul Biya, but there are people that have developed their charisma by speaking, by imparting knowledge in people, and people have admired them just because of the way they talk to the general public. And also, if we want to go deeper into the topic, if you're able to listen to another person, that is where you are going to win in life. Debating is about also listening, because sometimes some people just keep speaking and they don't give an opportunity for other people to speak. But you must be able to sit down, listen, and analyze critically. I love what they were doing, doing the ping pong on each other's ideas. That is a very difficult thing to do. Listening and doing the feedback and giving rebuttals, it is very important. Not many of us can do that, even those of us that are 40 and 50 and 60. So thank you so much for teaching us the importance of listening and giving back rebuttals. That is how you build leadership. That is how you grow. Also, emotional intelligence. Some people think that debate is about coming to arguing or being angry, but no. It's about composing yourself and comporting yourself in a way that your manage your emotions, because somebody can really say something annoying to you. In fact, I was watching the third speaker on the other side. At the point in time, she was pissed because somebody kept interrupting her from this other side, and she had to manage her emotions. As leaders, as future leaders, be able to manage your emotions wherever you find yourself, because somebody is going to push you sometimes just to get a reaction from you, and then you're going to mess up yourself, and they are going to walk away looking clean and untouched. So as leaders, we must be able to manage ourselves emotionally, and also to be able to think critically, and also be able to listen. I'm going to go out with the last but not the least. As debaters, what we have learned from these debaters today, and what we need as future leaders, is the ability to convince people. Because sometimes you can be saying something that is not even very as intelligent as the other person, but the act of convincing the jury, convincing other people is very, very important. And so to come back to the topic that we're talking about, how this is going to help young people to be leaders and as architects of development, you need these skills. You need to be able to listen, to communicate fluently, to manage your emotions, have emotional intelligence, and above all, you must be convincing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can you please just pass the mic to Your Excellency?
Already spoke.
Okay, then let's hear from Mr. Bill Aga.
Good morning, everyone. I was thinking we use this mic. Okay, cool. I like that. Let me try this. All right. Can you all hear me? Good. No? I should increase the volume. All right. Good morning, everyone. So it's a pleasure for me to be on this stage to talk about the theme of the day and to witness creativity, innovation, and the power of critical thinking and public speaking happening right here at the Cameroon School Debate Championship. A lot of what this team encompasses, Dr. here elaborated on it. I would like to touch on the entrepreneurial perspective of it. I come from an entrepreneurial background. I run a tech startup, and I'm also on the daily basis into inspiring people in the same domain. So I would say when it comes to selling your idea, when it comes to really building solutions that are going to change the world, that is always the start here, to change the world, you have to start with really understanding your community, understanding the society in which you live, the problem they are facing, and how you can provide a solution. And the topics you guys were talking about really made me understand that somewhere there was a background research. You guys really went into understanding what challenges your community were facing. In some way you did the research, right? And that is actually the first step, being able to do a market research to understand where the demand is and where the demand will meet an opportunity. So that's exactly what you guys are also being trained in. Then you have now your proposition. What are you proposing as a solution? Then you come to understand that your ideas are not perfect on the first try. You have to go through several iterations. And the fact that the debate was designed in such a format too, that you have to come in several iterations to defend that idea or to improve upon it, definitely makes me understand that you guys are learning the most important fundamentals of building successful enterprises. And again, critical thinking. Critical thinking because most of the problems we have to solve, be it in the startup world, the entrepreneurship world, requires a lot of critical thinking. Because it's not, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Everybody would be running the next Facebook or the next Google. But to build a startup or to build an enterprise to that level would require you to think out of the box. We have a term in the startup space we call design thinking. Design thinking is another word to say critical thinking. But it involves basically 5 stages. Empathy, defining, ideation, prototyping, and testing. And it's an iterative process. So the theme of today, debate as a tool for sustainable development, I would say it's very timely because right now, the United Nations SDG goals with Cameroon National Development Strategy, we are all moving towards development. And what you guys are practicing here today are the fundamentals of what is needed for that future. And definitely sales, like when I was talking about persuasion, being able to be convincing. A lot of times, the ideas that win are not always the best ideas. But the ideas that are the best are also the ideas that can be properly articulated. Because like Einstein was saying, if you cannot explain it to a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old, it means you don't understand it yourself. So which means that our ability to persuade also tells something about us, also tells something about our level of understanding of what we are saying. So this debate platform is putting you in that shoes where you have to be able to bring out persuasive arguments, you have to be able to sell your propositions and get the jury to adopt it, which means that you're learning sales also. So when we talk about sustainable development, for me, I see entrepreneurship. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, I see those fundamental skills. These fundamental skills of design thinking or critical thinking, of research or market research, these skills of sales, these skills of an iterative process of prototyping, testing, and improving. And that is what you guys are practicing today. And I think these are the skills that lead to sustainable development. So congratulations to all of you, and let's just keep pushing more for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very powerful coming from the CEO of the TIC Foundation. Our ability to persuade tells a lot about us. I would just like to pass the floor to the man closest to me, and please beg on Doctor to please extend the mic to this side. Mr. Joseph Lambe would like to hear from you on your thoughts and who you are, and then your journey as well as a leader.
Okay, thank you very much, Itel. And I would like to greet everyone here, greet my distinguished panelists. So I'm Joseph Lambert, and when I see the theme of this panel discussion, Cameroon Youth as Architect of the 2030 Vision, it reminds me of my story, like where everything started. And I will agree 100% with this team, because I remember what, as a young person, being bold, actually the kind of doors it opened to me. Because I received the first door it ever opened to me was 14 years ago. I was still a young high school boy like you guys. I was 16 years old. I got the opportunity because I was bold and I was always taking initiative, always going out there to get exposed. I got an opportunity to receive a scholarship to go and study in the US. So I studied in the US. When I came back to Cameroon to share the knowledge and all the skills I received there in the US, I started engaging in various initiatives till when I got encountered, or I met with Beatrice in the university when we were studying law at the University of Yaoundé too, when she came up with this idea of creating Baseline Orators Network. She shared the ideas with us, Adele, and other people who are now EXCO members. We directly bought the idea. And I bought that idea first because I saw what what being bold and being open-minded to the world around you, the kind of opportunities it can make you benefit. And I wanted to equally use that particular platform or that avenue to share my experience and also hold hands of other young people, because through being exposed and through those kind of platforms, in fact, my life has been a blessing. I've been able to, before even reaching the age of 30, I've already been to like several countries around the world. I've been to the US about 5 times, and it keeps happening like every year. But wherever I find myself as a Cameroonian youth, I feel like I am indebted to my country. I have that responsibility in me to always come back. I believe like sometimes it's crazy because your friend will be like, oh, you are traveling there every year. What is happening? Are you right upstairs? So, but I always tell them that it's not about you leaving, but it's about you using the avenue that benefited you to transfer to other people so it can benefit as many people as possible. And this small story actually leads me to the reason why I believe that youth, we are the main architect of this 2030 vision, because I can see Cameroon is young. Over 70% of Cameroon people is under 30, I think, 30 of age. So you see that we the youths, we are Cameroon, and Cameroon is us. So if we want to reach this national development strategy, we should keep in mind that it is not only something that maybe those big people at the ministries and all those kind of things they design and they are the ones to implement. No, we are the ones to implement, because this strategy is made for us, so we have the responsibility to achieving it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. I always have goosebumps whenever I listen to your story. You're such an inspiration, and thank you for sharing this with us. It's not about leaving, it's not about fleeing the country, it's not just about the journey. It's about always coming back to give back to the community and to inspire others. Now, I would like to hear from you, sir. I've been eager to hear from you, and I think the others have been eager to hear from you too, on who you are, on your own journey and your own experiences, and what we can learn from your own journey.
Okay, thank you very much. My journey is kind of fuzzy. Not the best kind of journeys, because at some point the popular narrative was school is a scam. So you start asking yourself, why will you have one master's degree, then the next one, then the third one? So what are you doing with those master's degrees? So that brings me to what we've been discussing. If Cameroonian youth can be the architects and the architects of 2030 vision, I will first of all start by saying yes. By policy, by the policy of Cameroon, the vision is ours. The one thing